Okay everybody, this is John Garland. I am going to roast some green coffee beans for you. And what we've got here is just an ordinary wok. You can also use cast iron. You do need to do this outside because it does make quite a bit of smoke. You can do it on a fire, you can do it on a grill. And I'm going to use my handy dandy Coleman stove. Coleman is not endorsing this video in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to take green coffee beans and turn them into roasted coffee beans that we can enjoy with our friends and family. So what I'm going to do, light my fire up and let the skillet heat, measure out a couple of cups, and we'll go from there. So, alright, you're going to use pretty high heat, but you got to continually stir the beans. Now, I'm going to do a couple of pounds, probably a cup of beans. Probably take 20 minutes. This is what the beans look like. I'm not really sure how well you can see that, but they're just ordinary green beans. They look a lot like peas. Don't put any oil, just cook them dry. And you let your fire get hot. One of the reasons I really like using the wok is so you can turn the beans, you know, like this. And I get my wok to correct, and you can shake them back and forth and roll them over. You get a better coverage and a more even roast. We're going to stay with the video until they start cooking, and you'll see that they'll start lightening in color. You're going from a green, and they'll turn more pale, and then they'll start to brown. And you have to determine for yourself if you like. I really like an American roast. It's dark, real close to burnt. Then you've got the French roast. The American roast may be the lightest. So you got the American roast, which is just, barely popping out the oil, all the way to an Italian roast, which is real dark. French roast is pretty dark, but like I say, me and my wife like ours pretty dark. During the course of cooking, the beans will actually pop twice, and they'll shed a little bit of a husk each time. And doing it outside, where there's a little bit of wind, actually helps. The beans will keep cooking a little bit after you take them off the heat, depending on, like the iron skillet especially. Will cook a lot. So you just want to stay with them. You don't want to multitask when you're doing this, because you can really ruin your beans. And this is the exact same kind of bean that you would use to make the green coffee extract. And I'll actually make a video on that in the future, where you just take mineral water and the green coffee beans. You could use some alcohol, I suppose, but that would be more like a cooking extract. And we'll actually go through the process on making the green coffee bean extract. This is not something I would make to sell, and I don't sell roasted beans, but I do sell green beans. $6 a pound, depending on what kind you want. So, anyway, fire's getting kind of hot. Some of the beans are getting a little bit of color on them because I'm talking more than cooking. This actual, you're going to have to practice it, spinning them a little bit. But I'll stay with you another couple of minutes, and then we'll pause and come back. This is the best coffee. It's so fresh. Won't give you acid indigestion or anything. It's a good caffeinated beverage, but yeah, see that? Or you get a little bit of chaff, where some of the ones that have gotten hotter have actually popped their skins off. So anyways, we're going to stop the video for a few minutes, and we'll check back with you in about 10 minutes or so. My daughter Micah said that I needed to be a little bit more energetic and enthusiastic, and So I'm going to give that a shot, and maybe the effects of the coffee that I've already drank will actually energize me just a little bit. So, as you can see, I believe, there's a bit of smoke coming out of this here pot. And I'll give you a little shot here. You can probably see they're multicolored. They do not all roast at the same rate. So anytime you do this, you're going to get a blend no matter what. So, it's so hard to be excited about coffee beans, but I really love my coffee. So, I doubt if you can hear them popping a little bit, but you might. Listen real close. Can you say caffeinated? I knew you could. Anyways, when you do it this way, there's going to be a little bit of loss. You can see the husks and that sort of thing. And this part, again, you're cooking it pretty high. A lot of times, I'll actually rotate around, so I'm heating up the whole skillet, so I don't have just one really hot spot. And naturally, with anything, there's quite a big variety of ways to roast your coffee beans. You can buy a hot air popper. If you find an actual popcorn air popper, you can do it that way. You might actually find, an old gadget that is kind of like a cake pan that has a little knife that actually is part of it. You can slide around that continually stirs. So you can spend $10,000 on a high-end roaster. It's just kind of up to you. But since our roaster bit the dust, I just do a couple of cups out here 2 or 3 times a week, and it keeps us fully motivated and highly caffeinated. So at any rate, we're going to step out of this video, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. The beans are just about done. You can see quite a bit of smoke. Typically what I'll do is I'll heat them on high, get them good and smoky, and then I'll reduce the temperature a little bit and stir them around and try and get them a little bit more evenly roasted. But now we're kind of back up at, the knife makers actually call it a finishing heat. It's a misnomer, but at any rate, I've turned the heat back up, and I'm flipping them over, and I'm stirring them. All the chaff has come off. They've popped twice. And like I say, you've really got to stay on top of this, because you don't want to turn these into just nasty tasting. Some people say Starbucks coffee tastes burned. I actually kind of like it, but I put so much sugar. Not a lot, but I do put sugar and creamer in it, and so it doesn't taste burnt to me. At any rate, these beans are beautiful and shiny. I do have kind of a blend to where there's some of the beans that are just, you're not going to be able to get them quite as dark as the rest of them. So when you grind these up, you'll have some darker and some lighter, and it makes a nice breakfast blend, if you will. And you see I just lost a few more, but I'll be able to scoop those up later. I'm letting them cool down a little bit, but I'm still trying to get some of these a little bit darker. And you do need to cool them down a little bit, because just like anything else that you've gotten really hot, it'll continue to cook a little bit once you remove it from the fire. It's taking about 15 or 20 minutes. It's always a good idea to let these sit overnight, because they'll actually taste a lot better the next morning, or 24 hours. You don't want to roast them in big batches, because 10 days or so is about all. After that they really start degrading. And if you start doing this, you will be amazed at the quality of the coffee. And like I say, I can sell these green beans for about $6 bucks. Some varieties are more. And then if I ship them, there'll be a shipping charge. But these do the post office or FedEx. And so this is pretty much it. That's what they look like. Not sure how that shows up. But here, let me dump these into my little wooden bowl here. Let's see if I can scatter them all over the yard. And this is what they look like. So, that's all for today, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And be sure to leave comments and ask questions, and I'll answer those as I can.